So I purchased my new Uber vehicle recently. The process while at the dealership went pretty smoothly. When I got home though, it was another story. Let's discuss. So as far as the actual purchase process of my new vehicle, it went pretty smoothly while at the dealership. I was only there for a couple of hours, although I did need to show the finance person that I personally found a rate a full 1.5 lower than anything they found. They do their search where they try as many lenders to get the lowest rate as possible. I believe the rate that they found was like 8.4. I personally found a rate of 6.8 through Capital One. I don't know why they weren't able to find that rate. Either way, I'm glad I did my own due diligence and found my rate, and I'm saving myself thousands in interest because of it. So then after that, they handed me my keys. It was now my vehicle. I drove it home. I had about a 15-minute drive home. The drive went great. I loved the vehicle. I love how it handled. I loved everything about the vehicle. But immediately when I got home, I parked in my garage. I stepped out of my vehicle. I could smell coolant. It was a faint smell, but I could smell it. And the reservoir was also well below the minimum level. I then contacted my salesman. I told him of the smell. He told me that it did pass the certified pre-owned checklist, which I believe is a 165-point inspection. But he did say that I could schedule it to bring it into service to have them take a look at it just to make sure. Moving forward that day, I then scheduled my Uber inspection to get my vehicle approved for both Uber and Lyft. I brought it in for the inspection. They didn't catch anything with the cooling system, but they did catch something on the tires. The rear tires were just below 4/32 on their tread, and the inspector told me that I would need to have those tires replaced soon. The front tires were brand new. They're 10/32 on tread. The rear tires were 4/32. I believe they were probably original to the vehicle. My vehicle had just under 30,000 miles. So not just the coolant smell, but the tires. Needless to say, I was not happy with the dealership and their certified pre-owned inspection. They have a 165-point inspection sheet that they need to go through. I was really curious with how thorough they were with that inspection. So after my Uber inspection, I then contacted my salesman again and told him about the tires. So not only was it the coolant, it was the tires as well. I then tried to go through the proper channels to schedule service. Even though I feel like my salesman should have taken the lead, he should have scheduled it for me and figured it out. I then told him about my troubles to get it scheduled for service soon. He told me to just bring it in. And then when I arrived at the dealership, to come to him. So when I arrived at the dealership, I came to him. He was with another customer. While he was with that customer, he told me, just drive it into the bay. When I got it into the bay, the service advisor came over to me, asked me if I had an appointment. I told him no. I said I just purchased this vehicle a week ago. My salesperson told me to bring it in. The service advisor then seemed annoyed with me. He said, who's your salesperson? Let's go talk to that salesperson. We went over and talked to my salesperson. The salesperson told the service advisor, I just purchased the vehicle a week ago. It doesn't matter if you're a few months out on your service schedule. I just purchased the vehicle from you. Let's figure this out. So at this point, I'm pretty pissed off at both the salesperson and the service advisor. This is a ridiculous situation that I shouldn't be in the first place. I told the service advisor I can smell coolant. I also told the service advisor about the tread being low. I asked the service advisor, why wouldn't those tires have been replaced during the certified pre-owned inspection? The front tires were replaced. Those were new. The rear tires were not. They would need to be replaced soon. He told me they don't replace those tires unless they're 3/32 of tread or lower. When I look at the inspection sheet online for the certified pre-owned, the 165-point inspection sheet, it says the tread should be 5/32 or above. All right, so moving forward, my vehicle was now in for service. They told me they didn't know how long they would need to keep my vehicle, so they rented me a loaner. They gave me the loaner for up to a week. I was wondering, why would I need this for a week? Let's figure this out within a few hours, hopefully. I drove home with the loaner, was waiting for a few hours, then got a call from service. Service told me that visually they were not able to see any leaks, but that they needed to pressure test it. The pressure tester that they used was misplaced, so they had to order a new pressure tester, and that was going to be a couple of days. I dropped the vehicle off on a Friday. They said at the latest, the new pressure tester would arrive on the following Monday. They also told me that in the meantime, while they had my vehicle, they had new tires. They would replace the rear tires. I don't know if this was a goodwill gesture or they knew they screwed up. Long story short, the pressure tester didn't arrive till Wednesday. I didn't get my vehicle until the following Friday, a week. They had my vehicle for a week. They ended up needing to replace the radiator. During that week, I also had a lot of back and forth with service. I told them I am an Uber driver. I need my personal vehicle. Every day without my personal vehicle is lost revenue. During this time too, I also contacted the general manager of the dealership and told him what I was going through. Left him an email, left him a voicemail. That general manager didn't even get back to me. He had a sales manager get back to me to talk to me about the situation. The sales manager even asked me, he said, we gave you a loaner. Could you not drive that for Uber? I told him, of course not. You have to have an officially approved vehicle to drive on the Uber platform. The dealership never acted like this was out of the ordinary or sincerely apologized to me for the hassle they put me through. This seems like normal practice for this dealership. Needless to say, I will never go back there again, and I will be leaving them some nice reviews online. Now again, everything was of course covered under warranty. The radiator, the tires, I have a 60,000 mile warranty and also a 100,000 mile certified pre-owned warranty. After the radiator was replaced, I contacted my buddy who's also in service at another dealership, asked him if this was out of the ordinary. I also contacted my mechanic, my local Midas, that I've been going to for a decade. I asked them if this is a red flag about the vehicle. They told me this is probably not indicative of more issues with my vehicle. Now I did my due diligence on this vehicle. Immediately when I got home, I could smell coolant. The radiator needed replaced. Also, when I had my Uber inspection, they figured out the tires would need to be replaced soon. If I didn't have that Uber inspection, I probably wouldn't have figured out the thing about the tires, that they were going to need to be replaced. This should have been caught during the certified pre-owned inspection. During the certified pre-owned, they replaced the front tires, obviously. They didn't replace the rear tires. I don't know why they didn't replace all 4 tires. I think they were trying to cut costs. Now, as far as my vehicle, I absolutely love it. I just want to make sure that it was taken care of and properly checked. I've now put over 1,000 miles on it. I love it. I love how it drives. I love how it looks. I love this vehicle. But as far as the dealership experience specifically, this should never happen to anyone. This was a certified pre-owned vehicle. Do the inspection properly. So again, that whole week, I had no opportunity to drive for Uber and Lyft. What I ended up doing was pivoting to Instacart. Instacart was offering a really nice bonus, so I actually pivoted to that the weekend that I got my vehicle back and was able to complete that bonus within a couple of days. Doing gig work, it's always good to have backups, so I'm signed up for everything. I'm signed up for Uber, Lyft, Instacart, Shipt, Grubhub, DoorDash, Amazon Flex even. Just sign up for all these. It's good to have backups. And we will have all of our referral links in the description. So again, I love my vehicle, but the dealership in particular, they can eat shit. Next week, we will be posting a video about my process of getting my new vehicle approved for both Uber and Lyft, so make sure you're subscribed so you can see when that posts. And be sure to check out my previous video on my process for finding my new vehicle. Thanks again for watching and drive safe. Thanks.